Good morning, traders. Coming in from RJO Futures here in Chicago. This is Bob Haberkorn, Frank Cholly, and Mike Sabo on Thursday, November 8th. Here to discuss with you the crop production numbers, monthly numbers that come out. They'll be out tomorrow morning. Grains have been pretty quiet lately, trading in a pretty close range for the wheat, corn, and soybeans. It's getting to be that time of year where it is coming out of the ground, but we do expect some stuff possibly to come out tomorrow with talking about the weather conditions right now in South America, as well as what's going to happen with winter wheat and maybe some option strategies as well. Frank, what are you looking for tomorrow with the production number?
Well, everybody's really been focused on the soybeans a lot. Again,
Sure.
we got rains late in August. That's the crop that can make this late comeback, late in the game comeback. And no doubt that those rains did help improve the yield. Some talking as high as 38.5 bushels per acre. And I think for the most part, this is really priced in. And the market's not really giving us any direction yet. And I'm a little surprised because demand is still very strong. At the pace that we're exporting beans right now, we just can't maintain that level of sales and expect not to, make already tight supplies even tighter. So I'm a little surprised that we are contained, to this sideways channel right now. And the market may still go a little lower first before, it starts to make that recovery. But eventually, I think prices necessarily will go higher just because supplies are tight and demand is so strong.
Demand strong at $15 a bushel. That's pretty crazy how far we've come over the last couple of years with these grain prices.
I'm in agreement with that. I think the beans have done a great job of forming a base around $15. I think we're building a solid base. We've seen a lot of, you look at the charts and we've seen a lot of back and forth in that market, and that tells me, that there's, we've got a little resistance, but I think we're building strong support. And, we'll take a look at the numbers. Same thing with the corn. I think technically corn's been holding up dynamite down here. I think there's good support. We've got strong consolidation, building a solid base. A little bit of resistance, I think, in the decent around about the 749, 750 area, but I'm anticipating breakout. I think in the corn, I think numbers are going to be a little bit lower here.
Yeah,
Sure.
You know what? You're talking about a breakout, and sooner or later we break out of these ranges. We can't go sideways forever. And I'm not sure what the catalyst will be, but we really need to start looking at this wheat, winter wheat, crops in the ground.
There'll be a lot of opportunity there, I think.
And it started out under some very dry conditions. So obviously the quality of the crop is pretty low right now. The good to excellent rating is only 39%. A year ago it was 49. A 10-year average is 58%. So we're way below as far as the quality of winter wheat goes right now. It's still kind of early. If we have a lot of moisture this winter, a good blanket of snow to protect it from the frost while it goes dormant, things can change. But the way it looks right now, and I wouldn't expect any big changes there, I'd say, wheat might be the one that breaks out first on the chart and kind of, leads the way higher for everything else.
I would agree with that, and I think that, you brought up a great point. And I think as traders, I think you need to be thinking about, there's some opportunities, I think, in the market right now, and as Frank's pointing out, some things going on in the wheat. But I think what you want to watch for is, think about this, as he said, soil moisture content very low right now. So if we don't see good snowfall this year, farmers could be in big trouble for next year's coming corn and soybean crop. And I think, if you're a long-term trader in these markets, you got to start thinking about that now and think about what you could do to position yourself out further into the spring already at this time of year, where the market, you've seen volatility come out of the market here a little bit with the consolidation. So from an options perspective, a lot of that premium volatility has come out of there, and I think now's a good time to start looking at some strategies. It's, short term in some of these markets, but I think you certainly want to be thinking further out on how you can position yourself.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of plays here. What we've been looking at too is some call option strategies, or also just buying outright calls a little further up on the beans, corn, and the wheat, just with conditions right now. Because what we're also hearing, the South American conditions, especially for the beans right now, are not optimal.
No.
We got scattered rain. Some areas are getting too much. Some aren't getting enough. So that's going to be some concern too. We're holding at 15 right now on the beans. It seems like tomorrow's number. We'll see how that comes out. I'm not expecting too much fireworks that come out of tomorrow's number. Are you guys?
I wouldn't expect
big moves
any
out
big
of it,
directional changes out of this report.
Not yet.
It depends, again, how aggressive the USDA gets with adjusting their previous forecasts there. one of the private forecasters out there, and most of them are 38
Yeah.
plus in bushels per acre. And I think, again, that is probably priced in. It's hard for me to see this market going much lower. Again, I think that this current pattern does show us that right now the path of least resistance will probably be higher, not
Sure.
lower.
I would agree with you on that. Plus, you look at our current political landscape now, and what could possibly be happening here with the dollar. And for those of you traders that that understand the effect of a weak dollar can have on commodity prices, a lot of these markets, not just the grains,
Right.
but I mean grains. Weak dollar typically is bullish for grains, helps our export markets considerably.
Right.
So I mean, I think you've got a lot of factors in play here, a lot of things in motion that could suggest that we could see higher pricing. Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've talked to a lot of farmers like I have, and I know on corn, a lot of these guys are holding back.
Same thing with the beans.
They're
Yeah,
holding back.
right.
They're storing.
They're waiting for
Uh,
higher prices, and they'll hold on to it.
Yeah.
As long as they
As
want.
long as they can.
I guess the one thing, with the dollar and the bigger picture here, you talk about energies, you talk about metals. All these markets are tied together, and they're all sort of linked back to the currency. And the bigger picture here is we have the election behind us. We know what we got. We got more of the same,
Yeah.
right? We're going to continue to print money, and who knows which way that's going to affect the dollar. But there's concerns always about what's going on in the Eurozone. Now they're talking about how Germany's economy is
Yes,
starting to be
they're slow,
affected,
yeah.
by the spillover of weaker economies within the Eurozone. So I think that, that would be the one thing that would derail,
Always has-
another
yeah,
big
always
bull
has
market.
possi- yeah,
But
always
It's
has a
another
possibility
piece of the
to dampen
puzzle that
it.
a lot of people, when they look at the grain markets or they look at when they go to the grocery store to buy that loaf of bread or to buy anything to cook for to cook food, or you go to the restaurant out to eat, a lot of people don't look at the case of right now what we're seeing with the dollar destruction from loose monetary policy. You say printing money, I think that's pretty much exactly what it is, or moving decimals over on a
Yeah,
screen. So
basically.
it will play out in the grain markets along with the undesirable weather conditions we're seeing right now around the world when it comes to grain prices. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to call any of us to talk about any of these issues. And remember, futures trading does pose substantial risk, is not suitable for all investors. Remember to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And good luck trading. Take care.